Good afternoon, Chairman Takano and Tester, ranking members Bost and Moran, distinguished members of the committee. Thank you for today's hearing. Honoring and empowering Wounded Warriors has been at the heart of Wounded Warrior Project's mission since 2003. Meeting the needs of the wounded, ill, and injured veterans who volunteer to serve our country and protect the freedoms we enjoy as Americans is not only a solemn obligation, but a national priority. Over the past year, a year of COVID, Wounded Warrior Project has shifted the programs and services we usually provide in person across the country to virtual offerings. Thousands of virtual connection events, peer support meetings, mental and physical health therapy sessions, and financial assistance and benefits counseling. In 2020 alone, Wounded Warrior Project provided more than $200 million in direct programs and services to warriors, families, and caregivers, nearly 20 million of which was direct financial assistance associated with COVID. And we are grateful for the support of citizens and supporters in making these programs possible. As today's hearing is focused on priorities for the 117th Congress, let me take just a few minutes to share some of our legislative priorities for 2021, namely mental health, toxic exposures, and women veterans. Regarding mental health, the stress of social isolation and financial uncertainty have never been more understood across American society than they are today. But these are issues that have always been more pronounced among post 9/11 veterans. PTSD, anxiety, and depression continue to be 3 of the top 5 most prevalent issues reported by the warriors we serve. Now more than ever, Wounded Warriors will benefit from a community of support that is aligned and inspired to build resilience and prevent suicide among veterans. Your committees have a critical role in overseeing implementation of the Hannon Veterans Mental Health Care Improvement Act and the Veterans Compact Act, and we stand ready to assist in any way we can. We also invite you to consider policies that improve care for co-occurring mental and substance abuse orders. At a time when new or increased substance use is up 13% among all Americans due to COVID-related stress. As to toxic exposure, you're likely familiar with burn pits and the prevalence of lung disorders among former service members deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. At Wounded Warrior Project, 70% of warriors who completed our annual survey reported exposures to at least one hazardous chemical or substance during their time in uniform. This group was 10% more likely to report poor or fair health than those warriors who were not exposed. And more importantly, only 16% of these warriors said they had received care at the VA for their exposure-related illnesses. This is just one reason why we would like the committees to grant VA health eligibility to any veteran who suffered toxic exposures while in service, regardless of their service-connected disability claim status. And we strongly encourage all members to co-sponsor the Toxic Exposure in the American Military Act, or TEAM Act, which includes many of our highest priorities on this issue. Finally, a significant priority for Wounded Warrior Project, and one that has become even more pronounced this past year, is a focus on women veterans. 20 years ago, women made up 6% of the U.S. veteran population. Today, that's about 10%. And in 20 years, 1 in 7 veterans will be female. Wounded Warrior Project is leading how we serve women veterans, and we're proud of the initiative we've put in place over the last many years. Nearly 25,000 women veterans are registered with us, making up roughly 17% of all the wounded warriors we serve. Later this month, we are sharing the results of a year's worth of research and engagement with our women veterans, and hope you'll join us virtually on March 12th at the Brookings Institution as we speak to many of the groundbreaking findings and initiatives in serving this underserved population. For today, consider this. After Wounded Warrior Project transitioned to virtual programming due to COVID-19, we saw women warriors participating at record levels. 43% participated in our virtual events, and in our physical health and wellness programs, 55% of the participants were women, or more than 3 times their share of the alumni population. This last year showed us that we could do better serving our female alumni. We believe VA can do the same because although nearly all women who completed our warrior survey are enrolled in VA healthcare, less than half agreed that VA was able to meet their needs after they left the military. Last year, passing the Deborah Sampson Act was a tremendous first step, but in the year ahead, we want to work with your committees to increase resources for women's health services, to create safer and more welcoming environments in VA facilities, and to optimize alternative channels of care like telehealth. Lastly, we need greater coordination across agencies and disciplines to improve awareness, accessibility, and quality of care for survivors of military sexual trauma. Although MST is not exclusive to women, many will benefit from improved policies to integrate MST-informed care across all disciplines, programs, and outreach efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor to be here today, and I stand by for your questions.